sign won't be putting up anymore. Some people are just mean. Okay. We want to thank you for watching Eyewitness News Live at 5. Let's take a look at what's coming up next on Live at 5:30. Chattanooga's mayor has chosen a new police chief. We'll have a live report. The total solar eclipse is just a few weeks away. We'll test your Eclipse IQ. And it's back to school for many students. We have an app that could help them with their homework.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News Live at 5:30. Coverage you can count on.
Thanks for watching Live at 5:30. David Carroll in for Greg Glover.
And I'm Lori Mitchell in for Cindy Sexton tonight. Chattanooga has a new police chief. Mayor Andy Burke made the announcement earlier today.
Now this is pending the approval of the City Council, and Mayor Andy Burke has announced his choice. Our Cameron Taylor is live at the Police Services Center with more on today's announcement. Cameron?
David, out of 49 applicants, the selection committee narrowed it down to 3. That included Deputy Chief David Roddy, Assistant Chief Edwin McPherson, and Commander Todd Chamberlain from the Los Angeles Police Department. The mayor picked Roddy, who's been serving as acting chief. Now, he's been with the department for nearly 23 years and has risen up through the ranks. Roddy tells us he plans on continuing what former Chief Fred Fletcher started. That includes community policing and the Violence Reduction Initiative, or VRI. The acting chief talked about some of the technology the department has, including body cameras and cameras throughout the city. He says that will be a big part of how the police force will move forward.
All of that loops into a comprehensive package where technology is going to be the force multiplier for not only our officers, but understanding and addressing the concerns expressed to us by the community.
The people who do this. Now, the acting chief says he wants to lead the department with focus. He wants to hear from people about their concerns before making any priorities, and he tells us he plans on working with the mayor's office to ensure the community is safe. And once again, the city council members will need to approve the mayor's choice before Roddy is officially the chief. Now, coming up at 6, we'll look at his plans for the department. Live in Chattanooga, Cameron Taylor, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Details in a fatal accident yesterday in McMinn County. 40-year-old Ernest Bidwell faces a vehicular homicide charge in the death of 53-year-old John Hubbard. Bidwell was heading south in a tractor-trailer on State Highway 305 when the trailer detached from the cab. It traveled across the center line into the other lane and hit the semi being driven by Hubbard. Hubbard's truck ran off the road and overturned, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Bidwell reportedly kept driving until he was stopped in Meigs County. He's being held now at the McMinn County Jail.
And Dalton police are warning of a scammer posing as a detective for their police department. Police say the scammer is spoofing his caller ID number to appear as if it's the department's main line. The scammer said a Dalton resident was a suspect in a child pornography investigation, and the scammer then told that person they could work out a settlement to avoid any legal trouble. If you have had a call like this one, call the Dalton Police Department immediately. The Soddy Daisy Police Department is encouraging people to call 911 if they see blue lights in their rearview mirror. They posted the safety message on their Facebook page, and it encourages people to call 911 when a police officer is attempting to stop their car. Police say to give 911 dispatchers your location and ask if an officer is attempting to pull someone over in that location. The message comes after several cases of suspects pretending to be police officers in order to rob the driver. Hamilton County Superintendent Dr. Brian Johnson made his first stop on his community listening tour, and that was last night in St. Elmo.
He's had a full schedule these first 2 weeks on the job, and now he's visiting every school district to discuss the future of our schools. Channel 3's Tanisha Cordell was there last night for the kickoff.
I support public school, but I believe our children deserve better.
Dr. Brian Johnson's notepad was filled with notes after an hour of community input. Parents, teachers, principals, school, and city officials filled the room, taking part in Johnson's community listening tour. One of the topics of discussion was the district's strengths. Many say teachers top the list.
We have teachers, for the most part, who care about students, who care about making gains, who care about what's going on in their lives.
Weaknesses were another topic. With 2 kids headed to Hamilton County schools, Dr. Johnson's wife says she once worried about the district's image.
Within the district, there's conversation about, well, that's not a good school, you shouldn't send your kids there. and I want to be able to send my kids to any school here and feel comfortable.
Head Start teacher Vicki Thompson says she hopes to see more parents engage with their child's education.
Teachers shouldn't have to learn about a child without their parent giving some input into it. Who knows that child better than that teacher, than that parent?
Dr. Johnson says he will own up to the district's challenges, but he also wants to highlight the good.
There are great teachers, there are great leaders, there are great district personnel, and this is a great community. All this input will help us build a plan and working with the board and setting the vision and mission for our district as we continue to move forward.
That's Tanisha Cordell with that story, and you can provide more feedback online. Dr. Johnson has provided a link, and it includes many questions about the district's improvement needs. You can find that and a list of dates and locations for the next set of community listening sessions on WRCBTV.com.
Republican Bob Corker says he's not ready to say when he will decide about seeking a third term representing Tennessee in the U.S. Senate. He told reporters last night at the state Republican Party's annual fundraiser that he's been busy working. And when pressed by reporters about when he would make up his mind, he said, at some point, we'll see. Corker was first elected to the Senate in 2006. He currently serves as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. No other major Republican has so far announced they would run for the nomination.
Well, you hear a lot about voter apathy. Get this, in the town of McIntyre, Iowa, they held a special election. And what if you held an election and nobody came? That's what happened. There are 70 registered voters in that town, and none of them showed up to cast their ballots. There were only 2 questions on the ballot this week, both concerning term limits for elected officials. The county auditor said, in her words, "I've seen low turnouts over my 28 years, but this is definitely a first." Nobody. Coming up on Live at 5:30, after a week-long outage, the power is back on and 2 islands on the Outer Banks are open for business. And how much do you know about the eclipse coming up in just a couple of weeks? We'll test your knowledge.
A few more showers and thunderstorms are going to be rolling into the Tennessee Valley in the next few hours or so, and then we're going to have a wonderful weekend shaping up. I've got all the details on my 7-day forecast.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News traffic sponsored by Plaza Uniform at CHI Memorial. Shop for one of the largest selections of the latest styles of uniforms from name brands. Visit online at uniformplaza.com.
In traffic this afternoon, no major problems. Now, you're seeing some of that construction downtown, and of course, as we've mentioned the last few days, just a good idea to really be aware of the entrance and exit ramps there where you are now asked to yield instead of merge. And traffic a little slow headed out of town on I-24 West. We'll let you know if any other problems develop.
Could be a tricky area there. Well, after a week in the dark, power has finally been restored on North Carolina's Outer Banks. It's once again business as usual for the area. Restrictions were lifted at noon today, and anxious beachgoers headed across the Bonner Bridge to enjoy their vacations. Thousands of tourists were forced to evacuate from the popular area after a state contractor accidentally broke an underground transmission line, resulting in a major power outage. It happened at the height of the tourist season. That wasn't good. That's when business owners are most dependent on summer tourism. With the good news today, some people wasted no time getting back into beach mode. Dare County officials estimate that business lost upwards of $2 million during that power outage.
A new Consumer Reports survey shows Americans are taking more pills than ever before. It shows more than half of us take at least one prescription medication daily. Many in that group also take over-the-counter drugs, vitamins, or other dietary supplements. That is far more than people in any other country. Experts say most of these medications are unnecessary and put patients at risk for dangerous side effects and drug dependency.
The FDA has approved a new drug to treat hepatitis C. Mavyret is cleared for use in most patients without cirrhosis, including those with severe kidney disease. The treatment appears to work faster than other hepatitis C treatments. 97% of patients who received the drug in clinical trials were virus-free 3 months later. The most common side effects were headache, nausea, and fatigue.
And it isn't often we get to talk about music in medical reports, but here we go. Spotify tells us surgeons like to rock out in the operating room. 90% of surgeons listen to music while they're operating, and rock and roll is the preferred choice. In fact, the most popular surgery tunes are Rock You Like a Hurricane by the Scorpions and Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine. I would have thought if they're into 80s music, they would have preferred Cuts Like a Knife from Bryan Adams, but that's not on the list. Doctors say music helps them relax, it improves their focus, and breaks the tension. And by the way, surgeons say don't worry, they turn down the music during the critical points in the operation or when any complications develop.
Well, that's certainly a relief.
Good to know.
Coming up on Live at 5:30, rain could be headed our way. Will it be here for the weekend? Meteorologist Paul Barris will have a look at the forecast when we come back.
Channel 3's Total Eclipse coverage is brought to you by Green Form. Call today to go solar at your home or business.
First total eclipse of the century is coming on.
Channel 3's Total Eclipse coverage is brought to you by Green Form. Call today to go solar at your home or business.
Well, in less than 3 weeks, parts of the Tennessee Valley will experience a total solar eclipse for the first time in hundreds of years.
And every day we learn some new fact that's just fascinating, like this one. A total eclipse is not unusual in any given year. Here's the catch. It just doesn't happen in the same spot on Earth very often, and it just happens to be our turn this time around. Nick Austin tracks down more fun facts to test your eclipse IQ.
The first total eclipse of the century is coming on August 21st. They've been visible above the United States in the past, but they've taken different paths. A total eclipse is a sight to behold. It happens when the moon slides between the Earth and Sun, blocking the sun for a while. The last time this happened in the U.S. was in July of 1991, but it can only be seen from Hawaii. The last total eclipse to cross the lower 48 was in February of 1979 and darkened mainly the Pacific Northwest. But the history of recorded total eclipses in America goes back much further. Ever since the country declared independence from England in 1776, 16 total eclipses have cast shadows across what was or would eventually become U.S. soil. The first was in June of 1778. An article was published in the North Carolina Weekly Gazette in New Bern, where people there had a great view. The weather was described as tolerably clear. However, this eclipse was not seen from coast to coast. This last happened nearly a century ago in June of 1918. This article from the Topeka State Journal in Kansas announces the next total eclipse, which we'll see very soon. The next eclipse will be seen from coast to coast, taking a similar path to the eclipse of 1918. It will start in Washington State, but end in South Carolina instead of Florida. The upcoming total eclipse won't be visible anywhere else in the world. It'll be the only time since our nation's founding that a total solar eclipse will be exclusive to the U.S. Spring City is one of several towns in the Channel 3 viewing area in the path of this total eclipse. City Commissioner Jody Bowers says it's a big deal.
Most of us have not been around to see another solar eclipse, but the last time it was in this area was in 1506.
9 total eclipses will take place in parts of the U.S. this century after the one in August. The next one will be in April of 2024 over portions of Arkansas and southeast Missouri. In the studio, Nick Austin, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Wow, Nick, that's great information. We're going to toss around a couple other numbers here. The next one that will occur on the date August 21st, after this one, will be in 2734. Now, the last one on August 21st was in 1914, and there's no truth to the rumor that Paul Barris said it would be like that. For this and other eclipse stories, check out our website and the Eclipse section inside our app. Speaking of Paul, what do you have for us?
I just hope it's sunny. I really do. I can't imagine if it's going to be lousy weather. I just really can't. High-res radar, though, right now is showing some showers over Athens. They are fading fast. On your Tellico Plains, there's some showers, and they're still holding together pretty much. We'll go a little further off towards the north and the west, and you can see out in your McMinnville, all the way to just about Interstate 40, there's some showers and storms, but they're fading. And a little bit south of Murfreesboro, there's some activity going on now, too. You can see the motion of the stuff is pushing down to the south and east, but it's moving into some drier air, and the air's a little bit mixed up because of the showers and storms that have already occurred over our northern part of our viewing area. So I think these are going to really fade out fast. There's some pretty good storms south of us all the way down to the Gulf Coast, but the real action right now with the severe thunderstorm watches from Pennsylvania up to New York, even parts of eastern Ohio, are getting hit hard with some pretty good storms. The good news for us is we're going to see some great weather coming up over the weekend. 87 currently, 88 in Cleveland, 81 Dayton, 75 in Athens, and 76 already in Murphy. Winds out of the west-northwest at 6, 90 in Cleveland and Chattanooga, 80 in Altamont, 78 Athens because of the rain, 86 Dayton, and 77 out in New Murphy, Blue Ridge, 84, 89, 72 the high and the low. Airport only had a trace of rain. No reporting stations south of the city had any rain of any meaning besides a trace. 93 Chatsworth, 89 in Dalton, Varnell, also in Calhoun, 88 Lafayette, 87 Fort Payne. While Cleveland got up to 90, it was 89 in Red Bank and East Ridge, 80 Signal Mountain, 89 in Trenton, 88 in Soddy Daisy, Mowbray Mountain about 86, and it was 86 also on your Collegedale and Ooltewah. 84 in Murphy, 83 Turtletown. Now, here's where the rain was. Athens about a half inch, 2/10 Etowah, 7/10 10 Mile, 3/10 Riceville, 6/10 Dayton, only a tenth of an inch up near Pikeville. And there's still a chance for some more, especially north of the city. Latest Vipercast shows the cold front that's producing some of those showers now is well past us by 7 o'clock in the morning. Saturday looks wonderful. Just a gorgeous day. You can't get much better this time of year. Showers and storms will be building out to the west Sunday, but they're going to wait until probably late Sunday night or Monday before they get here. So most of Sunday is going to be just about almost as good as Saturday, just a little more humid. And on Monday morning, we'll see some showers and storms, and off and on throughout the day into Monday evening. And more than likely, right into Tuesday, too, we'll see some showers and storms. So Monday and Tuesday may see a ½ inch to an inch, according to our computer model. We call it Vipercast. But I think we may even get more than that coming up into the rest of the week. Tonight, 66 as the showers and storms end, then we'll see some clearing late. 85 tomorrow with mostly sunny skies and low humidity. 64 tomorrow night with clear skies, a gorgeous night Saturday night, Sunday 87, a few more clouds, and then the rain comes in off and on. It's not going to be all day rains, but off and on, showers and storms, and you'll have a real good chance, better than 50-50 chance for seeing rain every single day of next week.
So our little dry spell is about to come to an end.
Yes, it will, and then the grass will start growing, and you'll be able to hear it growing, probably.
It just means more work in the yard.
Yes, it does.
All right, thanks, Paul. Well, new at 5:30, a Hamilton County EMS vehicle was involved in a crash while responding to an emergency. It happened on Cherokee Boulevard this afternoon. Police tell us the emergency vehicle had its lights and sirens running when another driver turned and hit it. That caused a chain reaction, and 2 parked motorcycles were hit. Traffic investigators are looking into what happened. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Still ahead on Live at 5:30, a community of Indiana motorcycle riders escort a young boy to school who said he was being bullied.
And school is back in session. That means homework. But you know what? There's an app for that. And most students know it can help them get the right answer.
My name is Angelica Partridge. I'm a web designer and brand coach. I help female entrepreneurs build bomb.
When I was a kid, homework was a My name is Angelica Partridge. I'm a web designer and brand coach. I help female entrepreneurs build bombshell brands that sell. There's really this huge entrepreneurial wave that's happening here in Chattanooga, and the big reason behind it is because we have some of the fastest internet in the country. I do a lot of live streaming and communicating via Skype with my clients. I have clients as close as Atlanta and as far as Australia. Being able to have super reliable internet that's really fast is a huge asset for me in my business. I love my EPV fiber optics.
School's starting back, and once again, smartphones will be a problem for school teachers, as practically every student has one in their backpacks or even in their hands.
And it's been a problem for years. You know, do we let them use them? Do we make them put them away? We know some schools have banned the use of these phones during school hours, but that doesn't stop students from using apps to do their homework. Our consumer technology reporter Jamie Tucker has more in our App of the Day.
When I was a kid, homework was a real pain. It could take hours just for a page of math problems. But students today with a smartphone, homework is literally a snap. All the kids know about Socratic, and it's no surprise, has all the answers to anything they need to learn. It works by just taking a photo of the problem. Check this out. This page has several questions ranging from chemistry to algebra to history. Hold the smartphone's camera over the page and select the question you need answered. This one asks for a diagram showing all the possible blood types of a child born to a mom with blood type O and a father with the blood type AB. Now, the app quickly created the diagram and explained how it came up with the answer. In addition, Socratic provided more details of blood types along with a video lesson. How sure can you be, though, that you're getting the right answer? Well, Socratic gets those answers from college graduates, educators, historians, mathematicians, and others who, quite frankly, know all the answers. Students can ask specific questions, which are posted online in real time for anyone to answer. Developers argue the app isn't designed for students to cheat on their homework, but as a tutor working side by side with the student to help them learn. What I want to know is, where was this when I was in school? I'm Jamie Tucker, and Socratic is the app of the day.
Well, your secret's out now. The Socratic app is free in Apple's App Store and the Google Play Store. The company says to date the app has helped with some 34 million questions. Nice tool. And coming up next on Live at 5:30.
A young student gets some extra support on the first day of school.
Brought to you by
Gig City's only local provider of the fastest internet and sharpest HD TV, EPB Fiber Optics.
Communities big on trying to get help for teenage suicide and bullying.
We've had a tremendous amount of, over the last 3 years I've seen.
An Indiana boy who had been bullied got some help on his first day back to the classroom from a biker gang.
Hey, you don't mess with this guy. Sixth grader's name is Phil. He said he was bullied so much at school he told his mom he just didn't want to go back. And a local biker gang called the United Motorcycle Enthusiasts heard about that and they decided to help Phil out. They took him to school on his first day. Now, how's that for a little backup? 50 bikers. The organizer of the ride said they just wanted to offer a helping hand to this young man. And as for Phil, he says he's got all the protection he needs.
The motorcycle community is big on trying to get help for teenage suicide and bullying for the kids. It's just crazy. It's an epidemic.